in a minute, I'm going to introduce Dr. Chen, who will give us a bit of a graduation commencement speech. And then we're going to have our annual graduation video that features youth who are graduating from across Treehouse's programs, sharing a little bit about their journey and what they're excited for. And then we have youth who just graduated last week, who is here with us, and his education specialist who has been partnering with him. So I will encourage you to put your questions in the chat. We have Treehouse staff who will be monitoring them and feeding them to me so that I can ask them as I moderate that conversation. So if you have questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. And with that, I will turn this over and welcome the Treehouse CEO, Dr. Lisa Chen. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Maya. This is really, truly one of my most favorite days of the year. I am just so thrilled to be here and honored. So good afternoon, Treehouse community, and a very special welcome to Ibrahim, a member of the class of 2021 whom we have with us here in the Zoom room. Ibrahim, we're so honored to have you joining us today and look forward to hearing from you in just a short while. It is my pleasure to gather together today in celebration of our incredible graduates and to honor their hard work and the dedication it takes to get to graduation day in this most unusual of years. Ibrahim, you and the class of 2021 are the class of hope and resilience, right, everyone? I think we can agree on that. It's true. This is the class of pivots, missed moments, changing expectations, and perseverance and strength in the face of uncertainty. My hope is that the one silver lining of this heartbreaking year is that our graduates grow to truly believe that they can do anything because they just did. They collectively looked a once-in-a-century pandemic, social uprising, economic uncertainty, and a future full of the unknown in the face, and they came out on top. I could not be more proud of them. So speaking of milestones, I just celebrated my one-year anniversary as CEO of Treehouse, and I've been reflecting a lot on the power of our young people and all the ways in which they will each impact the world as they reach their full potentials. I am so humbled by our graduates and all the young people who put their trust in Treehouse to partner with them towards whatever success means to them. Treehouse is what it is because of the young people we serve. You are all at the heart of our work and drive the evolution of our programs. Because at Treehouse, we're very intentional about partnering with youth experiencing foster care as they navigate the rigors of education with our support each step of the way. And we partner directly with youth as they set goals to graduate from high school and make plans to launch successfully into independence. Our graduation success education specialists and coordinators meet with our youth every week. And these days, they meet virtually through whatever method works best for them, whether that's Zoom or text or the latest social media app, you name it. And on behalf of our youth, we also partner with caregivers, social workers, and teachers to make sure that all of the key people in a young person's life are fully engaged in their successes and in their futures. And this past school year, despite everything working against our youth, 152 high school seniors graduated from high school on time. And an additional 39 students continue to engage in our graduation success program for a 5th year of high school. So can we just stop for a moment? And I see so many faces in the Zoom room. Can we just clap for them, even though we can't all come off mute? Can we just say, way to go, right on. You are amazing. You are amazing. So we stick with our youth well into their 20s through our Launch Success program as they work towards a degree or other credentials so that once they've graduated and hit that big milestone, we just don't let go of them. We want to be there to help support them as they work towards those degrees and credentials, towards living wages and stable housing. In addition, our educational advocacy program fills in any gaps that are left by our graduation success program. And those are all about removing barriers for youth statewide in kindergarten through 12th grade. We think holistically about what youth might need to feel successful. The Treehouse store, which many people know and love, is now virtual and it is statewide. So we support our graduation success and launch success participants We supported them during the pandemic to make sure that our youth had all the clothing, toys, and other essentials that they needed so that they look good. They actually look great, and equally as important, so that they feel good about themselves. Through our driver's assistance program, we made more than 1,000 auto insurance payments last year so that our youth could get to work, and when it was not online, so that they could also get to school. That program also pays for driving permits, driver's licenses, and even driver's education. And then thanks to Holiday Magic, another one of our programs, more than 4,500 young people statewide received a meaningful gift this past holiday season, just like they did the year before and the year before that. Our just-in-time funding program pays for extracurricular activities, things like music lessons, sports fees, as well as ASB cards, science labs, prom tickets, and even, my favorite, graduation caps and graduation gowns. And that last one is particularly relevant this season. Across all of our programs, we partnered with over 7,000 children, youth, and young adults in 2020. Now, our 2021 graduates have been walking this path with Treehouse during a time of incredible learning and growth for both them and for us as well. In so many ways, we've grown up together. Each and every one of our young people has impact far beyond the diploma that they'll receive. Their investment of trust and time in Treehouse has actively paid it forward for thousands more young people who will follow in their footsteps. Recently, we announced that the Washington State Legislature has awarded Treehouse the funds to serve all youth eligible for our graduation success program throughout the entire state of Washington. This is a huge moment for our youth in care in Washington State and for Treehouse. It is a moment we would never have reached without the young people who are the center of our work and the center of our focus. And to be here together today, celebrating them, is the highest honor I can imagine. So for the class of 2021, graduation is a milestone, but it is not the end of their partnership with us at Treehouse. We have a long tradition at Treehouse of continuing to support youth after high school graduation as they reach adulthood through launch success. Graduates, you're never alone. Your community is here with you on this Zoom room today, and we will continue to work with you and support you towards your goals and dreams, and to cheer you on as you grow and celebrate your wins, big and small, all together with you. And now, because no one can share the joy of achieving your goals better than you yourselves, please enjoy this video from our graduates in their own words.
Graduation is important to me because I want a successful future.
Graduating is important to me because it is that first step of me becoming my own person and living the life that I want to live.
I worked really hard this last year to get my diploma and finally getting into college.
One chapter ends and a bigger one will start.
So I feel pretty good about myself and my future self.
I've spent so much time working to be able to graduate, and I'm really glad that I finally get to.
I feel like the diploma will give you an answer every time you look at it and wonder why you did that for 4 years.
It is a very inspirational 4 years of my life.
There's a lot of good things, good opportunities that I do not want to miss out on.
In 10 years, I see myself working as a scientist.
I see myself in 10 years owning my first car, hopefully, owning my first house, I'd hope, and having a good paying job.
10 years, I see myself being a social worker.
In 10 years, I see myself as a commercial pilot.
One thing I'm excited about after graduating is I get to support myself and my family.
What I plan to do after high school is to start a nonprofit organization that targets the racial disparities in the foster youth system.
Now I see myself being a high school English professor.
I see myself living a stable life. I want my own place, I want my own car, and I want to be able to set my own rules.
I see myself doing some things I like, art, maybe animation.
In 10 years, I see myself working as a dentist.
I see myself in the future as a paleontologist.
I see myself becoming a veterinarian and helping all the animals that I can.
I just want to work on my dreams.
Makes me feel great because there's been a lot of obstacles in my way, and so far I've been able to overcome them.
Kind of stressed, but actually really happy
that my dream is coming true.
Excited. Thank you.
I'm excited and kind of scared because I didn't ever think that it was going to happen. So
I'm the only one person graduating my family to go to high school and graduating.
Excited because I worked really hard and now it's paying off.
Makes me feel happy.
Happy and excited.
I feel super proud that I've made it through these 12 years and I'm finally getting my high school diploma.
I feel really happy for graduating.
I really appreciate it. Treehouse.
Let's give all of those amazing graduates another round of applause. I love the stories, and it's such an accomplishment, and it's a marker on 12 years. And also at the same point that you're kind of culminating, you're also launching into the future. And with that in mind, I am so excited to introduce the two special guests that I have with me today. First, I want to say welcome to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, you want to say hello and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Ibrahim. I'm in Kirkland. in Kenmore. I graduated from Wanita High School, and something about myself is I like to do photography. I like cooking, and that's it.
All right, thank you. I also want to welcome Nicole. Nicole is one of our education specialists who has been working with Ibrahim. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Nicole Henson. I'm an education specialist in primarily the Lake Washington School District, which is northeast of Seattle. I use she, her pronouns, and today I'm wearing a green shirt. I have kind of reddish hair, and I'm pretty pale.
All right. So, Ibrahim, we're going to talk about school, but you said a couple of these things that you like to do outside of school. Say a little bit more about what you like to do for fun.
I like to play badminton and photography and hiking. I like those stuff.
Yeah, and you said when we were chatting earlier, you said you don't have a favorite hike, but what is it that you love most about hiking?
I don't have favorite one, but I just go, just run in the mountain.
So mountains, getting really out there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nicole, can you tell us a little bit about your role at Treehouse?
Absolutely. So as an education staff, I am working directly with youth. So I work with about 22 to 25 youth in the area, especially in King County. And really my biggest role is just to empower youth like Ibrahim to feel really confident in their decision-making, especially around school. And so that's kind of working with Ibrahim every week, and he can talk about that later, but really working alongside him and making sure he feels really good about what resources he has and if he has any questions, and just giving him a space to come and kind of talk about different ideas and goals, with the ultimate goal, obviously, of high school graduation, but all those different things that come along with those goals in that part of life.
So Ibrahim, tell us a little bit about how you met Nicole.
I met her in Friends of Youth. So she went there and she introduced herself, and she said she is going to work with me for the rest of the year. And that's how I met. And in a school, every Wednesday or Thursday, I meet her at whatever time is best for me. So, and then in this year and the last year, we do Zoom meeting.
Yeah, we've had to be adapting to this very strange situation we're all in. Mm-hmm. Nicole, do you have any clear memories of when you first met Ibrahim?
I do. He mentioned badminton, and I swear he was playing badminton with his roommates at the time. There was quite a few other youth that he was living with who were interested in that, and it was also summer which is a really great opportunity for us to meet before school started. So it was a really good time to kind of hear about his goals and what he really wanted to do, while also having something fun to do and enjoying the weather.
And you got to take advantage of it when it's great out here. So Ibrahim, one of the things that I learned about you when we chatted last week was that you speak 5 different languages. Do you want to say which those are?
Yeah, I speak Hindi, I speak Bengali, Indonesian, Rohingya, and English. Rohingya is my native language. Yeah.
And so, oh, go ahead.
And I'm learning Spanish, but I don't speak, so I take classes. So.
Right. I think many of us can relate to that high school Spanish experience. You know, so one of the things that you said that was really interesting to me is that you could read English, but you hadn't had experience speaking English when you came into high school. Can you say a little bit more about what that experience was like?
Yeah, before I came here, so I know how to read, how to write, and I never practiced English in my country because there is no one to practice. And then when I came here, it was a little bit hard for me to understand native language, and then the one you learn is a little bit different.
Yeah. So was that difficult to be learning how to speak that English at the same time that you were learning science and math and those other subjects? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a challenge for me learning English, math, and the other subjects at the same time.
Yeah.
And also focus on your job, working thing.
Yeah. So how did you go about that? How did you balance all of those demands?
I just went for it because I was like, I have to do it anyway, so just do it.
I love it. There's a Nike slogan in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So Nicole, I know one of the things that we do at Treehouse is to work as the facilitators of various resources for the young folks. Can you talk about how you work to support Ibrahim especially around learning that English language at the same time that he was doing all of these different academic challenges?
Absolutely. So Ibrahim kind of said it, is he really jumps in and he has a really big, like, I'll just do it attitude, which I think is really powerful. And the biggest thing is, I mean, he's really driving that. So if he wanted to access more English classes, that's something he would come and talk to me or his guardians about, or his social worker. He also has an amazing resource in his team over at Refugees Northwest through Lutheran Community Services. And so the biggest thing is just making sure we're all connecting on the same page. And a big part of my position is making sure that when Ibrahim shares a goal or shares something that he really wants to do or really needs support with, that's being communicated with everyone around him so we can all support him together.
That's great. I love that. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Ibrahim, what does a typical meeting with Nicole look like? When are you meeting? What do you talk about?
We talk about if I need something, or if I need to talk to my teacher about assignment or help with something like books, school supplies or something like that.
Yeah, Nicole, talk about how you've had to pivot from being in person to now you're meeting online, right?
Sure. So, and I want to shout out that Ibrahim's selected time is on a non-school day, Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. So he is very much eager to work with me on his day off, which props to him, before our staff meetings at Treehouse. So it's always wonderful to start the day with him. Yeah, so really working with him one-on-one and making sure that he felt supported in those environments. And then the other thing is with pivoting, like for all of our students, it's the same thing, meeting them where they're at. So for him, if that was 8:30 on Zoom in the morning on a Wednesday before school, great. And if that was, after school on a Thursday, that also worked for me. So being really flexible with what our youth could do around their new school schedule, which was totally different. And it was totally different at every school. So it was just really being flexible on what they needed. And the other thing too is sometimes that didn't look like a video call. Sometimes that looked like a phone call. Sometimes like an email. Sometimes that looked like a text message. And so I think really knowing what the youth were most comfortable with and pivoting in that way as well. And then a whole lot of communication with school and social workers and community partners, even more than before, which I think we were already doing in our positions, but really pivoting to engage everybody because we weren't having very typical meetings and interactions or even just passing by one another anymore in the hallways like a school counselor. And so really making sure that for all of our youth, those needs were heard and taken care of.
I want to applaud you, Ibrahim. I sometimes have trouble getting my kids out of bed by 8:30 on a non-school day. So I love this. You have such this great focus and determination. And I hear that you're really great at asking for what you need and advocating for yourself. How did you develop those skills?
Well, if I need it and I know why I need it, so I just ask for that. If I can't get that, I have to work hard for it. So it's better to ask.
I love it. So certainly in the fundraising world, we say, if you don't ask, you don't get. And so it's always great to hear, great, I know I could ask. And so I did. You worked the whole time you've been in school as well. Do you want to talk about some of the jobs that you've held?
Yeah. So my first job was in Azteca. It is a Mexican restaurant. I worked there for a while, maybe like 4 months. And for some reason, I quit that job and I take a break for a couple of months. And I got another job in bakery. It's called Arya Bakery. It's an Iranian restaurant. So I worked there for a year. And then I work in McDonald's for a couple of months. I quit that and I took a break for a couple of months and I got another job in Joe's Burger. It is a new restaurant in Kirkland. That is the only restaurant they have in Washington. So I worked there for a year and I quit that. Now I don't have a job.
How's that feel?
It feels good. I have a reason why I quit it, Yeah.
Yeah. So you were learning to speak English, taking a course load that could let you graduate and working full time. What were your strategies for making sure that all the assignments got in and everything got done?
If I compare to this and where I came from, we have very few opportunities to go to school. So this is the best time for me to study, and my mom always encouraged me to study, so that makes me motivate on a school.
We have a great question from the chat, which is for both of you. What is something that you have learned from each other? Maybe Nicole first. What have you learned from working with Ibrahim?
Well, I'm going to start with something funny. Is actually Ibrahim's really funny. If you couldn't tell, that's something that we've gotten to see a lot more because we're not meeting in the school space, because we're meeting on Zoom, and it does, build a different relationship. I have really found out that Ibrahim's actually really hilarious. He has a very dry sense of humor, and I really appreciate that. So that's the newest thing I've learned about Ibrahim.
Yeah, for me, she's very helpful and she's very flexible. Let's say I say I can meet today. Can we do tomorrow? Yeah. So that's very nice of her.
Awesome. Yeah, so you've talked about like this hidden gem of being able to develop a different relationship online. What have been the opportunities or the challenges of moving from meeting in person to meeting online? Ibrahim, how did it feel different? Was it easier? Was it more difficult?
For most people, I heard they have a technology problem, Wi-Fi problem. For me, it was not that difficult for me. It was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can meet from anywhere in your bed, outside, anywhere. In person, you have to go office to meet.
Yes, very true. How about you, Nicole? So obviously you've talked a little bit about being able to build that relationship with Ibrahim, but you've also got 21 other students that you're supporting. What was that experience? Did it look the same or did it look different with different students?
I can say it looked different and it still looks different every day. So as you know, we continue to serve youth throughout the year. It's no telling when we're going to continue, you know, when we'll have another youth maybe pop up that we'll start working with. And so I have about 7 youth that I met entirely during the pandemic. And these are youth that I've never seen in person. Some of them, I don't know what they look like because we don't do video, because that's not exactly what they're comfortable with, especially when building a new relationship and understanding how I can support them. So I think that it's been challenging, but I think that every relationship looks a little bit different. And there are, like Ibrahim said, there is ability to sometimes be more flexible because you aren't, you know, there isn't travel between schools. And then on the flip side of that is it used to be really nice to just pop into a counselor's office 2 steps away and have Ibrahim get support immediately, where now it turned into more appointment making because that was what worked best with online environment. So, but at the same time, you end up getting support just as quickly. So it's just, again, like Ibrahim said about me, I'm very flexible. So I think just continue to do that with our youth. And I know all of us ed specialists are always happy to be flexible to make sure our youth are getting support.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked a lot about support here, and we've all needed extra supports this year. Ibrahim, who are your supports? Who do you turn to when things are rough?
I have a lot, so I asked Nicole. I have some people in Lutheran, my social worker and my other guardian. Also, some teacher in a school.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, we get that fun question that we love to ask our ed staff. So Ibrahim, you have been kind of humble through this whole thing about all of these amazing accomplishments you've had. Nicole, what would you want people to know about Ibrahim? Go ahead and brag on him a little bit.
Oh, sure. Okay, so I've been bragging about Ibrahim now for the last at least 6 days because he graduated last Wednesday, which was a really big moment for him, and we were so incredibly proud. And so I just want to share, and I'm going to try to hold my emotions in, but I just really want to share that you inspired me, Ibrahim, because just like you said earlier, the way that you are able to see something that you want and ask for help is a really big thing that a lot of people cannot do. And to be able to do that and know what you're driven towards is inspiring to me, and something that I know I can hopefully help others to do as well. I think the other thing too is that you just do things. You have such a good attitude towards things and doing things not only without hesitation, but with humor. And not only that, but I don't know if you hear this often enough, is you do them really well. So even with all the challenges coming your way, it doesn't seem, you're not afraid. You really just attack things head on. I've seen you do it. When you want to do something like today, when he requested to get a mandolin because he wants to learn how to play it. And he was like, I just want to be in touch with my culture and the music that comes from where I'm from. And I'm like, oh, do you know how to play? No, but I'm going to learn. And so just having that really positive attitude and facing things with that approach is something that many of us can learn from. So I appreciate you. I'm inspired by you. And I am excited to see your future and your humor and your can-do attitude as you move forward.
So tell us, what's your plan for learning to play?
I never play mandolin, so I don't even know. I need to see because I never write any song, and neither I have any friend who know how to sing. They do know how to sing, but someone else's song they know how to copy, but not like they make their own. So
yeah, so they're singing songs, but they didn't write the songs.
I want just for fun, whenever you have free time, and at that time just play.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Music is very important. So you graduated last week. In fact, it was, I think, the night before we talked last week. What was that experience like?
That was it was I was very happy at that moment. I can't describe it because none of my family graduated from high school. I'm the first person to do in my family, and I'm so proud of my mom, and she's the one who motivated me most. And yeah, that feel really proud.
Well, and one of the things you shared, and I think one of the plus sides to this weird pandemic year, is you said you sent a link back to family elsewhere. And so
yes. Yeah, they did watch my graduation thing, and they even take picture and a video. They send it to me back here. I'm like, I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that even though they were far away, they were able to celebrate. And what time was it there?
8 in the morning.
All right, so they had to be up early to celebrate with you.
Yeah, they usually wake up early morning, like at 5.
So it wasn't early for them.
Yeah.
But how special that that technology allowed them to be part of this really important milestone for you.
Yeah.
We're going to start wrapping up questions. So if you've got more questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. But we've kind of been teasing this and we haven't said anything yet. But do you want to talk about what your plan is next? What's next for you?
I am going to college. It's called Washington State University.
Go Cougs.
Yeah. I'm planning to major in biochemistry. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. I might change, so let's see.
Yeah. What about biochemistry do you like?
I like periodic table, so that is the only reason I like chemistry, because there is no other subject I like in school. Maybe a little bit physics, not math and any other subject. I know math involved in physics, but physics is not math subject.
I will say that my experience of physics was that it was mostly calculus, but I love your love of the periodic table. That's awesome. Yes, we've got science in the best and go Cougs and lots of big congratulations in the chat. We are so grateful, Ibrahim, for your being willing to come and share with us today. Nicole, thank you for sharing your enthusiasm for the work and for Ibrahim with us today. Another comment that you're inspiring, lots of congratulations. And thank you to all of you who came with us to celebrate Ibrahim and our other amazing graduates this year. So one more big round of applause of gratitude for Nicole and Ibrahim. And thank you so much. And everyone, I hope you have a great afternoon, and I hope you celebrate the graduates in your life.
Thank you.
Oh, and just a reminder that if you want to support this work and support folks like Ibrahim and Nicole in their work to support and reach graduation and to succeed beyond, we have in the chat some links on ways that you can get email updates, follow our Facebook updates, make a gift now to celebrate graduation and to support others in the years to come. We appreciate that. And we have volunteer options as well. So thank you and good night.